Hey, Lance.
Get that in there.
Lance, we're doing it live. What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Appreciate y'all tuning in, showing love. The Chicago Bears showed us a little bit of love in the second half of yesterday's game, and I got to break that down with somebody who I know was very excited with the output of the defense yesterday. Lance Briggs is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We got to talk about the Caleb Williams struggles. We got to talk about the defensive dominance.
Woo!
And Lance,
Yep.
we got to talk about Bayless Jones.
Okay.
Again,
We're still talking about Bayless.
I didn't re-sign him.
Don't
blame me. I didn't re-sign him. But we got a lot to talk about on today's episode of the Chicago Bears podcast. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave the 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. First things first, Lance, how are you, my guy?
I'm good.
It's good to see you in person.
It's football season's here.
Yeah.
So life is good.
Man, listen, I laid down yesterday after I got home from a long day of covering the Bears. I turned on the TV, and the first thing that popped on was Sunday Night Football, and I was like, "Oh, we're at this time of year."
Yeah,
it's just football nonstop.
Yes,
it's
you're not getting NFL, you're getting college.
Yes,
and now you even get an influx of high school games.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Shout out to all my California schools is playing dominating everybody right now.
Man, listen, it is crazy too. Like you'll just cut on a high school game, you're like, "Oh, it's a nice high school game." Like back in the day, it's like somebody's recording it with a potato. Basically,
right. Yeah.
You can't really see what's going on. Now it's like high quality definition camera. Like it's like ESPN is covering this game. It's like, what team is this? Like, and why are these kids so good? My high school wasn't great.
Right. We got two teams,
it looked
75
different.
offers between these teams.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is crazy, right?
Football is becoming like how basketball got for a little while when they were just like, "Are you 7 and going to be tall? We got a scholarship for you." But hey, Chicago Bears yesterday. I want to start off on the side of the ball that you know best, and let's start it off with the defense because I don't like to start off a Bears dub, right? A Bears victory Monday with the bad. Let's start with the good.
Start with the bad and finish with the good.
I like. Well, there's good at the end as well. I think there's good throughout, right? I think we won 2 phases yesterday. I think we won special teams. I think we won on the defensive end. We'll speak about the one part we missed on. And then I think the offense. Yeah. You know what I mean? You do it in the middle. Let's start off on the defensive end. And there's a name that to me really stood out yesterday, and I just got to get your evaluation. Maybe one of Ryan Pohl's best moves this offseason, and it happened at the very end of the offseason. 9 tackles, 2 sacks, Darrell Taylor creating that pressure. We've been talking about all offseason. He was
a maniac off the edge.
We've been talking about all offseason. Who's going to create or who's going to take that spot opposite Montez Sweat? Did he do that yesterday?
Absolutely. He was a monster off the edge. You know what I mean? He was been in that corner fast. And I think with him on one edge and Montez on the other, we're going to be pretty dangerous. We're going to have to get really good push up front because with those guys coming off the edge and him coming off the edge like that, if quarterbacks are able to step up, that neutralizes him.
Yeah.
But if we get pushed inside from Billings and Dexter, then they'll hit home all the time.
Yeah.
They'll hit home. We'll have a lot of sacks.
Was Andrew Billings the unsung hero yesterday? Because to me, like, as I watched that game, you saw Javon Dexter, you saw the pressures from Darrell Taylor. But I saw Andrew Billings in the backfield probably more than I've ever seen him in the backfield. I thought he did a great job pressuring when they double-teamed Javon Dexter.
Getting off of blocks, getting in on the tackle, and making some big plays, some big stops. I saw them moving around the D-line in that first half. On third down, they were moving guys they had two B-gap rushers.
Right.
They'd move the nose over, slide him over, and then have a nose and a guy in a B-gap. To me, it looked like they were trying a few different things to see what was going to work, and coming out of that halftime, whatever adjustments that they made, whether it be very little or maybe even coverage, they settled down and they started playing, having fun, and flying around and making plays with the brothers.
Which is so interesting because normally I feel like we saw that pressure. We saw them flying around the entire game. Normally when you get down 17-0, right, you start to press a little bit. You start to be like, okay, we got to play a little bit back. Yeah. I like the fact that Eberflus didn't tell them to stop being aggressive, keep attacking, keep going after them. We're not out of this. It's Will Levis at the end of the day.
Yeah. And the other thing is, don't hit the panic button. Don't hit the panic button. Let's look at what's happening here. And a lot of times it's it's a step the wrong way. It's a game of inches, so make sure your eyes are right, your keys, and you're flying to where you're supposed
Game
to
of
be.
inches. Don't we know it after Isaiah Likely in the first game?
Right? Yeah, it really and truly is. I mean, one bad angle can cost a touchdown. Or a run really good angle can become a sack or a sack fumble. Becomes a pick. Shoot, Roma Dunze got a reception off of a tip ball that was 15 feet in the air.
Yeah.
So that's just the way it goes. These guys are highly tuned athletes, at playing at the highest level.
How would you say the preparation was yesterday? That was a problem we had week 1 last season. Looked like, right, we showed up. You were like, did we know we were playing a football game today, week 1 last year? How would you say, of course, right, defense came out aggressive, offense struggled their way through it. How did you feel preparation was for the Chicago Bears yesterday?
I don't think there was a lack of effort in game 1. You could obviously see last year that effort was an issue for an effort team.
Yeah.
When the coach
His principle.
preaches, this principle. I didn't see that, and because of that fact, it continued to give them an opportunity, especially in the second half to win that game and win the game defensively and special teams wise.
No, 100%. Like I thought yesterday, defensively, there were 2 people that I had to focus in on, and I was watching them the most. Javon Dexter, Tyreek Stevenson, and those were the 2 for me because with Javon, if he doesn't get that pressure up the middle, maybe we don't see how much pressure. I said 2, right? I said 2 people. Okay, you were holding it up, looking at it like it wasn't 2.
I said 1 and 2 because you left out. You see that, L? Because he left out a few people. Go ahead.
Well, those were the 2 I was focused on because how important the 3 tech is in this defense. Did we have the answer at that 3 technique position?
True.
And Will Levis didn't even look Jalen Johnson way one time.
Right.
Will Levis was like, yeah, so I'm going to throw it over here, and I'm going to attack Tyreek. And you saw Tyreek get cooked on that one time in the game on the touchdown in the end zone. But as the game progressed, as you got going in the second quarter, you saw him kind of fight his way back, of course, getting the pick 6 that ends up putting the Chicago Bears up. When you look at those 2 right now, do you feel like they're answers for the Chicago Bears, where at times last season they were the question marks?
It was a good start.
Yeah,
this is a good start. The jury is going to be out. I mean, it's about consistency. How consistent can you play on a weekly basis? So next week they have another week of good output, and getting good pressure and getting vertical. Then we'll talk about them again in a positive light. Let's continue this into week 6, and we see that type of consistency where we can say, man, we really have something here. Poles was right. He was right to draft and pull in the guys that he did at the time that he did it. But again, it was a good start. What I saw out of our linebackers. Okay,
there it is. That was where I was going next.
There we go. Yep.
That's where I was going next. I wanted to give them their own segment there, Lance.
Okay.
When you're here, we got to talk linebacker, baby.
I really appreciate
got to
that.
give you that own segment.
But flipping from Dexter, and that up front, right? We're talking about the linebackers now. The linebackers moving from last year into now, that's been consistent.
Yes.
Okay. The back end of last year, Edmonds really stepped up and started making plays. TJ obviously is all over the place. I believe he's certainly a top 5 linebacker right now. And so what I saw out of them is that consistent play, the play that we needed, the play that really turned the defense around last year when Eberflus took over the defense, and we started seeing them increase their play. So they keep playing like that. Listen, we're going to be a number 1 type of defense.
I thought about you twice yesterday watching the linebackers on 2 plays, and the one, I don't know who their backup tight end is on Tennessee, but he's still dead. Because TJ Edwards absolutely sawed him in half. He laid them. I was sitting there. I was like, "Oh, that's a Briggs hit right there. I like that. I like that." And then Tremaine Edmonds did something yesterday that I thought was something we didn't see early from him in the season last year. The Tony Pollard run. He's about to get the first down. Edmonds grabs him, pulls him the other way.
That's what I'm
talking
about.
Secure tackle.
Yes.
I literally was like, Lance said this last year, because in the Detroit game, remember, They ran right at TJ
Come
or
on.
at Tremaine Edmonds, and he fell the wrong
He
direction.
fell the wrong
Keeps
direction.
it going
Right,
first
man,
down.
It's right. It's understanding that listen, just being in position. When you put your hands on that ball carrier, that's the beginning of the fight.
Yes.
You've got to fight. You've got to fight for every inch, and you've got to pull him back and fight to pull him back to make sure that he doesn't get that first down.
Yeah.
And and you do that. You do that for your brothers. You do that for the guys that are next to you. Those are part of the sacrifices that go along that game. And one of the things that it looks like to me that that they're running around and they're playing with their brothers and they're having fun.
Yeah.
They're having fun, enjoying it. And when you see that type of stuff, that's when it means more. That's when everything means more.
Does this come from now second year in the defense? Does this come from just being more comfortable, or is this the culture that these guys have built? Because one thing Kevin Byard said that I think stood out, because J-Mac talked about it, how you guys' locker room was this team wants to be a player-led locker room. That's why they have 8 captains. They want the players to be the ones setting the tone in the room, not the coaches. Is this defense playing this comfortably in week 1 because of how the coaches have gone about it, or is it the players have taken it upon themselves, not only just being comfortable, but to say, hey, this is the standard that we have for ourselves?
Well, I think it's a little bit of all of it, right? I'm a player-led team. Yes, I think are the strongest, but you don't become a player-led team unless your coach allows that. Your coach has to have the understanding to say, hey, listen, I want you guys to go out and be who you are. You know what I mean? But you have to create an identity for yourself. And I think they have done it. I think they were doing that last year defensively. They were doing that, and when you have that type of mentality, you give your offense some time to develop.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to do. It's going to take some time for them to get to where they got to go. And I think it's going to there's going to be a small hit on defensively if your offense can't get into that end zone.
Yeah.
And so which means there's going to probably be more opportunities for the other opposing team, which when you have a number 1 type of defense, that can move you to the 2 or the 3.
And we saw that end of the first half. All of a sudden it was like, because I was like, you won't be able to run on this Bears defense. And all of a sudden Tony Pollard breaks one. I'm like, what happened? But then you look at time of possession, it's like, 18-11 happened.
Right. And so, those are the nuances, when you look at the end of the year and you're like, well, you guys you finished a 4th ranked defense, but really you were the number 1 defense.
Yeah.
We had some unfortunate things that happened that skewed those numbers.
Yesterday was a historic game for the Chicago Bears. It is the 2nd biggest comeback at Soldier Field. You guys did a similar game like that on the road in your time in Arizona.
Uh-huh.
How do you stay engaged when you get out of a game early, like how the Bears did, especially with some of the things they did? How do you keep yourself focused in those moments? Because I think back to that Arizona game where it's like, oh, this got ugly real fast and the offense is not helping. And it was just like you guys knew, like, we got it. Don't worry about it.
Well, you're always thinking this. You're thinking situation. So before it's 17-0. And you're like, okay, we have the ball. Let's get some points out of this.
Yes.
Let's go into half, get some points, get the ball back. So we want 7, but we'll take 3.
We'll take 3.
We don't want to go out of here with 0 points, and we end up getting 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we come back. Let's get the ball and let's drive down on our first drive. We score. Now we're at a 1 score down, 1 score.
Right.
That's you always have to figure that if we were down by more. It's hey, let's have one drive where we go down and we score. Let's start with that drive. Starts with the first play, and let's run these plays all the way down and get into the end zone. Sometimes you get away from your fundamentals because you're scrambling. You're like, all right, we just got to throw,
right.
And that isn't the answer. That not only does that stop the clock, but if you don't make those first downs, you give them the ball with a whole bunch more time. So part of it is reducing their ability to just run the score up. And also it's us getting back to what we do well. Let's do that for a drive and get in the end zone, get some points out of it.
Is there a moment defensively where you look at the offensive side of the ball and go, they don't got it? we got to score? Is there a moment we got to attack more? We got to be more aggressive, try to get the football and take it to the house.
Yes, there's a moment. Yeah, that moment happens on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
That's always the mindset.
That's always the mindset.
Yeah.
What the offense does is none of our business.
Right.
That's their business. You know what I mean?
We stay out of White Sox business.
That's
stay out
right.
of offense business.
That's that's out of our control.
Yeah.
So that's out of our control. So the less that you look at the offense and say, all right, man, we really need this, we really need that. The more stress you're going to put on yourself as a defense when they say, you guys, we take the ball away and then the very next play they give it right back. Well, let's go get it again.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh man, offense, man, gave the ball back. We just got that's not that doesn't help. That's counterproductive.
Right.
If we take the ball away, you give it back that next play, well, then we're gonna go take it back again.
Yeah. And you it's so tough to compare anybody to you guys because you guys still are one of the greatest defenses of all time. The numbers say it.
Yeah.
When you look through it all says it. But I did get that feeling yesterday that you guys had.
Yeah.
I got that feeling of like, this game ain't over because Jalen Johnson's covering their best receiver and they can't get the football to him. This game ain't over because Andrew Billings is in the backfield all day. I didn't expect him to be in the backfield all day. This game ain't over because Javon Dexter is scaring the life out of Will Levis right now. It's
a good feeling when you say things like that as opposed to, saying those names and it being question marks.
Yeah.
So when we say that, we go into, next week or the following week, whatever it is, and we look at the injury report and all of our guys are active, we're all feeling confident because whoever you guys have over there, they have to deal with our guys.
Yeah.
They have to deal with Jalen Johnson. They have to deal with Brisker. They have to deal with Billing, Montez Sweat, and Taylor, TJ Edmonds. TJ Edwards,
Tremaine, we all do that.
Edmonds, right?
We all do. They just put them together. They TJ Edmonds at this point. It's a fusion dance.
It's hard. Right? Come on, man. I know, but you got to deal with all these guys, and so and when you have to deal with those guys, I love our chances to win the game.
And I think that's the difference, especially like heading into next week, right? The first thing that you think is, oh, they got Stephon Diggs, or they got Tank Dell, or they got CJ Stroud, but now it does feel like, well, Stephon Diggs got to deal with Jalen Johnson.
Come on.
Tank Dell, he got to deal with Reek. Reek hitting.
Come on now.
Reek ain't playing no games. Who coming across the middle on TJ Edwards? Mm-hmm. Who playing that game? Yeah, I mean, and even the miscues we saw. I mean, the defense in the second half was dang near perfect, but in the first half, it ends touchdown, field goal, touchdown.
Yep.
Those were small misses. I think you're in a 3rd and 12. Kyler Gordon's off by a half an inch.
Yeah. Yep.
And all of a sudden the football gets through and it's a first down. It's like, he's right there.
Yeah.
That's a play he can make. I've seen him make that play. That's a pick. Yep. Normally, like, those things make you feel better heading into next week. The defense has me feeling like, listen, I said it last year, Matt Eberflus as a DC, I think is a phenomenal DC.
Yeah.
Yesterday's game made me feel a little bit better about Matt Eberflus, the head coach, though. All those things we talked about, keeping the culture, keeping the team together, keeping the mindset of this thing ain't over. We finally saw that result in a win, and we didn't see that in his first 3 years here.
Listen, I've been a fan of Eberflus.
Yeah.
And I've never wavered from him being the head coach of this team. And I've been grilled. You grilled me.
Oh yeah.
Me.
No, I didn't want him here. It's not even. I was like, Bill Belichick's out there. Let's go.
When the times are tough,
and now he's trashing our team. What's going on?
Listen, he's just calling it how he sees it. But I've seen the development. I've seen the development, and to me, the needle has been pointing up in that direction, regardless of how he interviews and all this stuff. And
be real though. Something happened with the beard. He got better. I don't know what happened. Something happened with the beard and the fade where Flus was like, he went from like, we're going to figure this thing out. And we're going to get it together. And then all of a sudden this season he walked in, he was like, y'all know what it is. And then left the podium. He's like, wait a minute. Hold on, dog. Where does confidence come from now?
He took some interviewing classes.
Is that how it went?
Yes.
Is that how it went? Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. 140 in the building. Let's get over 100 likes on the video. People in the comments rocking with us, man. Appreciate you guys for showing love. Pat the designer, Lance Briggs. We're breaking down everything from the Chicago Bears game yesterday. Bears get a win over the Tennessee Titans.
Yes, they do.
24-17. You know what's funny? Last time we had a comeback. I believe our last comeback of that size was 2012. 2012?
2010.
2010.
2010.
And I think it was a similar turnover day where
Green Bay? Was it Green Bay?
no, it was against the Titans again.
Was it the
It
Titans?
was the Titans
Oh.
again. I want to say it was that Peanuts for punch day.
In Tennessee?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we took the ball away a lot.
Yeah, that was bad. And
The very first play of the game.
I got the stat wrong actually. The last time we had a punt block for a touchdown and a pick six for a touchdown was that game versus the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, y'all took the ball a lot. That was a 51-24 game.
Put a 50 burger on him.
Yeah, there was a 50 burger. I was eating good that day. I love that. It all wasn't good yesterday, though.
No,
it all was not good.
Even in a win, we got a win.
We did get a win.
All right.
I was very excited about a win.
Okay, so what was not good?
I've got some concerns, Lance.
Okay, concern me.
There are two people on this offensive line who have me scared, Lance Briggs.
Which people are that?
Let's start here.
Name a player.
Let's start here. Well, I'll let you pick the center position and the right guard position. I have problems with both, and the center position you really can't do much about. The right guard position you really can't do much about because we're in the season. You hope that things change. But where you want to start with this?
I mean, how about we start with the Titans' defensive line?
100%.
How about we start with the
dogs
Titans
over there?
Line? Absolutely,
dogs over there.
This is going to be one of the best lines that we face. That the Bears' offensive line faces this year.
Yes.
Sweat. Titans.
Sweat. He's a ridiculous.
Yes.
He's a ridiculous. Why is he that fast? He's
right.
366. Why is he that fast?
So you're dealing with a guy that is immensely strong.
Yes.
Big. He's a load. I saw him swat Tevin Jenkins on a play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He swatted Tevin Jenkins and got into the backfield quickly. That's going to be that defensive line is a problem. Okay. They're going to be a problem as long as they stay healthy for every team that they face. Limits what you can do running the ball.
100%.
Limits what you can do running the ball, and what plays you can run. Doesn't change the fact that, our center and our right guard was, the play was questionable. We're getting pushed around. We really got pushed around, and Nate Davis had to come out and put Bates in. And hopefully, this upcoming week, we don't have to do that.
Yeah.
If it's Bates that starts, then do the job. If it's Nate Davis that comes in, hopefully he has a better week.
So are you not buying Matt Eberflus after the game saying that the plan was to sub out his starting right guard to let his backup right guard get some reps?
Maybe it is. Maybe it was.
I've never seen that before. That would be an interesting plan.
Maybe that was the plan, but they sped up the substitution based off his play. And they were like, oh, yeah. We're getting him in right now.
What's the bigger problem, right? I think Coleman Shelton is a talent issue. And not to say he's not talented. I think he's solid in run blocking. I think that, even though it didn't show yesterday, but I think he's a better center as far as run blocking. Pass pro is a little tough for him, which is why the Rams were okay saying, you go on your way. And I kept telling everybody all offseason, teams generally don't get rid of good centers. They generally don't go, hey, we know you've been doing a great job protecting Matthew Stafford, who's got some mobility issues at this point in his career, but you can go. I can almost deal with Shelton because Shelton is doing the best that he can. I didn't see an effort issue with Shelton. Yesterday, Olin Kreutz tweeted out a play that I think epitomizes what we've been asking from Nate Davis.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe it was a boot, and at no point does he touch anybody on the defensive line. Basically just doesn't do his job. How do you deal with that? How do you approach that as a teammate, right? Because they say they want to be a team-led locker room. How do you approach what clearly looks like, and what has been a problem, a lack of effort.
Well, I mean, you're gonna see the tape. You're gonna see the tape. He already knows what happened, but you're gonna see the tape. You're gonna see the tape as a unit, as a group, whatever it is, whatever it may be, and you're gonna get your corrections. All right, you're gonna get your corrections. It starts with accountability, and I wasn't where I needed to be, or helping where I needed to be helping. How can we fix this? How can I fix this myself? I need to know exactly what the play is. I need to know where I need to be. Can you be there?
Yeah.
Can you be there? And when you say you're accountable, you say, hey, I wasn't where I was supposed to be. Well, then get there.
Yeah.
Or, plain and simple. You're a grown man. Get there.
I think I don't know if he wasn't where he was supposed to be. When you watch it, it's just like he just didn't make a block. And at a minimum, I never played no offensive line. I don't know where he was supposed to be blocking. Right. It looks like everybody blocked to the left. That's how everybody else went about it. Tevin Jenkins kills a guy on that play, right? Love to see that. But at a minimum, offensive linemen are told, hit somebody. Don't just stand there. Yeah. Even if you hit him, he's on your team, like hit somebody.
Yeah.
And just seeing that, it felt like everything that we questioned in training camp, everything that we questioned leading up into the offseason. I don't count last season because of what he went through, family. I mean, it counts, but, that's a different situation. But previous to that, the reason they were like, you can leave the Titans.
At some point, you're stealing money. At some point, when you bring a guy in, you pay him some money to come in and play a position, and you're getting no production out of him.
Yeah.
At some point, you're stealing money now.
Yeah. Now I do have my concerns with Coleman Shelton as well. We talked about the matchup he had yesterday was not favorable, but I've never seen a center, even with how bad the center position has been here over the last couple of years, who ended up getting flipped around, face down, back up, and spent more time on the ground than Coleman Shelton yesterday. I'm concerned, Lance.
There's only one Devontae Sweat, all right, and he was a monster.
Yeah,
rookie.
You think more so the matchup affected him than the talent that you have there?
I think it's gonna be a rough year for him. I think it's going to be a rough year for him, and it doesn't help to have to face this young kid, this youngster on the game one. But you better get something figured out, buddy. You better get something figured out. But like you said, there's no lack of effort. There's no lack of effort.
He's not lacking effort.
He's giving it all he's got.
And hold up. To that point, right? Earlier in the game, first half, where Caleb Williams, I think he ended up getting the football away, but you saw a little bit of a delayed blitz off the edge. Coleman Shelton standing there. He's got nobody to block. He sees Sweat over here, and he's like, and just runs into him. He's trying. He's like, I got to hit somebody.
Yeah.
There's not a lack of effort, but it's going to be a rough year. That's what you say.
It's going to be a rough year. It's going to be a rough year. People are going to turn the tape on, and they're going to know how they're going to approach the guy.
Yeah.
And veterans that have already played against him, they already know. Anybody that's played against the Rams, they're like, listen, this is MO. When we go over personnel, which is day one, you're going to go over personnel. You're going to say, hey, listen, this center he's lighting the ass. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, does he look small?
Right.
Like with a 366-pound man.
Control him you can control him. He can be controlled. So we're going to game plan. If you're going to game plan, you try to find the weakest link. When you get to this level, you find the weakest link. So you're going to say, okay, we have to take advantage of this center.
Yeah.
We have to take advantage of this guard. This is where we have to attack this team.
Do you get to a point where you try to go with what the original plan it seemed like was and slowly work Ryan Bates back in there to hopefully be the starting center? Even though I don't think either of us have been high on him being the starting center with 150 career and lifetime. Didn't do it in college either. Snaps at center.
Well, don't hit the panic button just yet. All right. I don't believe in hitting the panic button. We're in week 2. We won.
We did win.
We won. We have things to build on.
Yeah.
But we also have to know, because of what we put on tape, this is how the next team's going to attack us. This is how, if it was successful, they found success in week 1. Our opponent found success. Our week 2 opponent is breaking down that tape and say, okay, this is how they found success. this is what we're going to do.
And your job don't get no easier going up against the defensive line that Houston got.
Nope,
They got some dogs over there too.
Absolutely.
It's about to get crucial. But I think that, and I guess like it's a struggle when like the middle of your line is bad. But like yesterday, I thought that Tevin Jenkins had a really nice game. I thought that Darnell Wright did a really good job.
Yeah.
Dare I say, and y'all know I have been the Braxton Jones critic. Braxton Jones had a day.
Yeah.
Maybe it was one pass rush. I think he got bull rushed one time. I was like, yeah, you got to do that. But outside of that,
paid too.
They get paid too.
Get paid too.
And that's the big thing that I think. The callers yesterday, we getting the callers on the post game show on ESPN. Tap in with us. I think that fans forget that it's not just you have professional football players. There's professional football players on both sides of the field. And when you watch the game back, I ended up watching the game again last night. You know, people were like, well, Shane Waldron, he didn't call the game the right way. That's why Caleb Williams was struggling. First off, Caleb Williams just had a bad day. He was inaccurate. He was overthrowing guys. He was underthrowing guys. He threw one of the toughest passes he threw was off the helmet. They almost killed that guy. I got a catch out of it. And didn't know Rome could jump that high. That was impressive. I'm excited for the 50-50 balls. But yesterday, when you have a game like that, did it seem like Shane Waldron was just kind of like, I got to get this kid out of here without any turnovers? And that's what affected the play calling?
You want to see him run the ball more, but you're playing against this front.
Yeah.
You're very limited with what you can run, against this front. You can't just run whatever you want. They're going to eat that.
It's not Madden. Are you telling me it's not Madden?
It's not Madden.
Is it not college football 25?
Right. It's not going to work like that. They probably wanted to run more, to take some stress off of Caleb, but they were limited on stuff they wanted to do. But even with that being said, it wasn't a good day for Caleb. It was game one, and there was so much hype on him and this offense. I didn't like that. I wasn't a big fan of it.
You don't like the hype?
No, because you're setting yourself up to be let down.
Is it? But see, this is the tough part, Lance, and I think it happened last year with the Bears as well. The hype came from inside. The hype came from Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles into Hard Knocks. I think was it either Hard Knocks or on his interview that he did with Hogan Johns. But like it was, we feel like we got this generational kid. Oh, you throwing the tab on him. Like it's not hype from the fans alone. And fans are gonna hype stuff up. They're gonna listen, we were having a good time on the Breeze live call we did yesterday. After his first two drives, he had a yard. I was like, 1 yard away from the Hall of Fame, baby. Here we go. Put him in. You know what I mean? But the fans are hyping it up more because you're running Caleb Williams out there in Hard Knocks to Michael Jordan's music. You're calling him generational. You're putting that label on him that he's going to be a dog.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right. And that pressure, there's stuff that comes along with that. And so that watching the game, it was a very Justin Fields-esque performance.
Yeah.
And or especially early on, the some of the biggest hoot and hollers that you had for Caleb was on a scramble
when he used his legs.
Used his legs. Got in the pocket, held the ball. Made some throws that should have been caught. Had some overthrows. Had some throws that were off.
Yeah.
It's week one. And I think him and that offense are going to grow. There's too many weapons around him.
To not. Yes, 100%. Yeah.
It's there's not I'm not concerned with where the offense is and where they're going to be because I think when they click, they're going to be extremely dangerous. And when you have a special teams and defense is playing the way it is, you're going to have time to develop, to get there. They're going to have your back, and then eventually you'll have theirs. Might even be this week. But it
better be if we're gonna compete. You can't have a 147-yard game and go in there and beat the Texans at home.
But it's like I said, it was interesting to see him out there. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen as fast as people want it to happen.
Yes.
And it's like C.J. Stroud and Patrick Mahomes, those rookie seasons, they're rare. They're rare, So, just be patient.
And I think even with that though, right? Like, if this is the worst it gets, that's to me where people are going too far. We're on the week 1, game 1, and people are ready to jump off the ship. And Jeff Meller said something yesterday, and it's very apropos. And me and you both were keep Justin Fields, guys. Don't go changing everything. But now Caleb's here. We're excited. We're gonna rally around this kid. But so many people were calling him the generational. I knew this guy wasn't it. Blah blah blah. If you're saying that after yesterday's game, you already had that belief in your mind. Mm-hmm. You just wanted a reason to say it. This game could have happened in week 6. This game could have happened in week 9. And you just wanted a reason to say that he was going to be a bust.
What bothers me in the evaluation of Caleb is people say, man, did you see that throw? Did you see the way he threw that ball? Did you see the way he threw this, right? And so for me, it's not about this amazing throw that he made. It's about the fundamental. Is he fundamentally getting back, dropping back, making the read, making the throw right now?
Yeah.
All right. Because fundamentally, that's what you have to do on every down.
Yeah.
Every down, you can't be Archie Manning running for your life every play. That's not a situation that
Lance, you threw some of the younger listeners off. They don't know Archie's the grandfather. They just like they sitting there. They like Archie Manning didn't run that much. He was all right.
Everything about Arch. No. The original Manning.
The father of them all.
Father of them all. That just uses his legs running
for his life.
For his life. That's not a situation that we can consistently succeed with.
Yeah.
You've got to get back. You got to make your read. You got to make your throw now. And it has to be accurate. And and you got to get your ball to all your playmakers. And you have a bunch of them. Help him out by running the ball, but be fundamentally sound as a quarterback. That's what I focus on. And so you can make amazing throw here, amazing throw there, but fundamentally, I need you to be consistent.
100%. Is there anything scheme wise on either side of the ball? Because the thing I love about Lance is, we had 4 turnovers yesterday. You probably still found something that you didn't like.
Yeah,
probably still found something that you were like, we need to improve on that.
Well, it's called takeaways, but it's fine. Listen, it's neither here nor there. You know what I mean?
You just want more.
Yes, I want a whole lot.
You want them all.
I want a whole lot. But those takeaways led to points.
Yes.
They led to points and obviously a W. So keep them. There's never enough. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, we got to talk about a unit that actually had a solid day, but there was one blunder.
Okay.
That I have a real issue with. We'll start with the blunder. We'll finish with the solid. Because one of those takeaways that turns into a touchdown for Jonathan Owens, not Simone Biles' husband. We're not sitting here doing this every time we bring this man name up. He has his own name. He's an athlete. He's good. Like Jonathan Owens, what I got to do to just be Jonathan Owens out here? Can I not be Simone Biles' husband? Bayless Jones yet again. Ball comes his way. Lights are bright. Mm-hmm. Biggest moment for him. Number one moment. The one thing they want him to do. Ball hits his hands. He kicks it 20 yards right into the lap of the Tennessee Titans, and they luckily run into a dominant teeth of our defense and only get 3 out of it.
Yep.
When is enough?
You're asking the wrong person.
Because have you ever seen a player with this much leash?
I would have had it. No, it's rare. It's rare.
Who's he got pictures on?
He got some crazy leverage, man. He's got some crazy leverage, boy. But yeah, no, he keeps getting chance after chance after chance. You would think after a few years of him dropping these kicks and punts that he'd come out today, drop a ball, and you wouldn't see any more of them.
Yeah,
but we don't make those decisions.
But Matt Eberflus said he was proud of him.
Yeah,
after the game, say I'm proud for those 11 yards and that Muffed punt. I was proud of him how he handled
How
it.
he handled bouncing back from
What he bounced back from? Did you see a bounce back? There's the question. Did you see a bounce back? Did I miss it? Because here's my thing. There's not much that we can criticize Poles on.
Mhm.
But the one concern that I do have is when you get further down the line, are you too attached to the pieces that you brought in just because they're your guys? This literally feels like Bayless Jones was my first offensive pick. I have to see him do something. They're trying to make him a running back. He didn't pan out at wide receiver. In my mind right now, if you take him off kick return, you're fighting to save the 5th best running back on your roster and the 5th best wide receiver. I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah, again, I have no answers for Bayless. That's not a me problem. That's a Bears issue that they're going to have to address and they're going to have to fix. They feel like he's a guy that is going to help them win now and win into a championship season. We're going to see more of him. They clearly have felt that way for the past 3 years. So
when you see him at because their hope is that he's going to become, I don't know, Deebo Samuel, like he's going to be Cordero Patterson or something like that. When you see him at the running back position and you assess him, do you think that he has the talent to turn that into a skill? If we just put the ball in your stomach, you'll be great. Do you see him as a guy, if you're lining up against him?
I've seen enough of him over the last 3 years that you're not going to get that chance. You need to. I'm going to give you. You can have that chance with another team. I think a fresh start for you would be good, and us get that trade out and get another guy in here. Maybe there's a guy that fits better than you.
Yeah,
But I've seen enough.
I think it's so fun. The conundrum of it to me is right. Like, is it just because he's a good guy? He's thinking because Chase Claypool, you traded a 2nd-round pick for. Chase Claypool was going 4 games into the next season.
If you're picking football players because they're good guys, you're not gonna coach longer. You're not gonna be on there long.
But I mean, you're 100% right. You got to have the talent. But we do know that is a big part of how they assess their guys. How is the person? How is this person's mindset? Is he going to be good in the locker room? Is he going to be a good teammate? Things like that, which are things you need to look for. But I can't find a reason that he's still here. Like with Chase Claypool, like I said, Chase Claypool just kind of ended up being this dude that everybody was like, all right, like you kind of doing too much now. Yeah, I mean, you're taking it too far. You're not really hustling. You're not working hard enough. We're ready to go. You traded a 2nd-round pick for him. He was going, 5 games in the last season? This is 3 years, and he's doing the same thing.
But the writing was on the wall for Chase Claypool.
100%.
You know what I mean?
But I swear I see it right here. I see the writing on the wall, but there's no action on that writing with Bayless.
Again, like we're spending a lot of time talking about.
All right, we're gonna move on over
there. Yeah,
let's finish it out with this, because one move that Ryan Poles did make, the decision to keep Daniel Hardy, paid off for you last night. Absolutely blowing through the line, blocking the punt, turns into a touchdown. Outside of the Bayless Jones move, how would you assess how Ryan Poles has done finding some of these guys, Darrell Taylor, who after you miss out on Matt Judon, you're like, okay, who's that opposite guy? You see that. Daniel Hardy, a guy that you find, end of the draft, let's go. Yeah, I mean, like he seems to have a knack for that.
Yeah, moves right in over Austin Booker, I really like what Poles has done with our personnel, with the personnel on the team. And regardless if they work out or they don't, the decisions make sense, and to me, that is more important than some of the other intangibles. Now, I want them, yes, we want them to perform, but at least I can understand, okay, man, shoot, I would have made this mistake too. I always look at it if I were in his position, would I have made this decision or that decision, or would I have made the same decision as him?
Yeah.
And so the more that I see the players that he's picking, I'm like, man, like I would have picked that guy too.
Yeah.
Right? So it makes me just liken to what he's doing.
No, yeah. I love what Ryan Poles has done with this team. The Bayless thing's the only one. And I guess if that's the only one, we're doing pretty good.
We're doing
pretty good because we had Kevin White.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we had some we had Anthony Miller in here. Yeah, I mean, we had some names in here that we were like,
Very.
oh,
Yep.
this is
Yeah.
this is not gonna work out. I don't think he's what we thought he was.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, let's finish it out with this, Lance. Appreciate you guys tuning in, showing love. Hit the like button if you haven't done so. Who surprised Lance Briggs yesterday? Who was the player that maybe wasn't on your radar going into that game that you left, and he's now on your radar?
That's I don't know. I don't think I was surprised by anybody on the Bears.
Okay,
I was surprised by
I sweat.
this 366-pound man that can move. You know, what I mean, with sweet feet and got great feet and can move. Just he was impressive.
I'm not even mad at that.
And I feel for anybody that's go against him.
I'm not even mad at that because you know what's so funny? On the flip side of it, Andrew Billings, we talked about him in the backfield all day.
Yeah.
But those little subtle moves by Will Levis
Yeah.
were kind of taking him out of the play. But the pressure is still there. But it was like, if he steps to the right a little bit more, right, Bills doesn't have that change of direction.
Right.
T'Vondre Sweat was like, where you going?
Wow.
When Caleb tried to hit the juke move, and he
Yeah.
was like, where you going? What you doing? Where you going? He Kevin Harden.
Yep.
I thought that was, man, that is scary in the
Well
league
done.
for a long time right there.
Yep.
That is scary in the league for a long time right there. Hey, let us know in the comments below who surprised you guys yesterday. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. As always, we'll be back tomorrow breaking down even more Chicago Bears and hopefully getting some updates on some of these guys because don't know what's going on with Keenan Allen. Hope that he's okay. Let's get some updates on these guys, and we'll let you guys know all of that. For Lance Briggs, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again